Alright, this video is to help you get the Premature Evacuation achievement on the Rendezvous level.
Okay.
If you had as much trouble as I did your first or second or third or fourth time through, then maybe this video will give you a little bit of help. And the big problem with this level is that you can only build queens, zerglings, and spine crawlers, and all of those have a serious weakness, either really slow moving or dies to fire bats. That's the big problem on this level. You gotta build zerglings for mobility, but there is a lot of fire bats, and they eat the zerglings alive.
Say again?
So that's the main challenge we're going to be dealing with. Secondly, just the achievement brings in the element of speed. You gotta be really fast on this one. So let me point out a couple of things that I do here in this game to make it through in time. The first thing that I did is pushed out my spine crawlers, my spore crawler as well. If you notice where I put that, just up to the chasm in the middle of the two paths, the wraiths will come down there, and if you build one additional spore crawler there, so you've got a total of 2, that will take care of the packs of 4 wraiths that they'll send a couple of times during this level. And you won't have to worry about the wraiths at all. You don't have to worry about putting queens in position or Kerrigan or anything like that. And the biggest thing here about getting this achievement is you've got to be fast. That means you've got to be constantly active with Kerrigan. The reason I say that is because Kinetic Blast will put a bunker into fire, so that a minute or so after that it'll burn down. So it only takes one shot of Kinetic Blast to kill a bunker, as long as you have enough time to wait for it to burn down the rest of the way. So immediately upon getting in the level, run out to that path to free the first set of zerglings, shoot a Kinetic Blast at the bunker, wait for it to burn out, and then use Crushing Grip to deal with the Marines. Throw a Kinetic Blast on the Marauders because they actually do quite a bit of damage to Kerrigan. The Marines and Firebats don't do hardly anything. So you gotta be pretty active. If you don't take note in this video, you'll notice that by about 10 minutes or a little bit less, I'll have the other pack of zerglings in the north channel freed as well, and that's a good time to shoot for. You're going to want to do your final attack with roughly 100 food worth of army, zerglings mostly, around 4 minutes to be able to get done in time. So those are the mile markers I'd try to push for. Try to immediately get the right pack of zerglings freed. By about 10 minutes or so, try to get the left pack freed. And in the middle of all that, basically all you're going to do is build a bunch of zerglings and get them upgraded. The one additional thing I did that helped me beat this level is I pushed up the north column with spine crawlers, and I'll eventually take out the base to the north with those spine crawlers. I won't ever send my army there at all, and that buys you a little bit of time, because there's a narrow ramp. So if you try to go across the top of the level to get to that north base, it doesn't work well. You've got to squeeze through that ramp, and there's a bunker, and it'll waste a lot of time, cost you a lot of zerglings, and then it'll be a challenge to get the rest of it done. So I found it was a lot easier to just push up that path with spine crawlers, probably about 6. You'll see here as we get into it that I don't have quite enough spine crawlers, and so I lose a few here and there. But that's... I still made it, so if you do a little bit better than me, it should be even easier. So you'll notice right about 11 minutes I sent Kerrigan over here, just right after she dealt with a pack of enemies that came in. Throw your Kinetic Blast on the bunkers, get them dealt with. Right around 10 minutes, they'll send a bunch of Hellions down here, so make sure you have your spine crawlers in place. I should have mentioned this earlier at the beginning too. Immediately with the couple of pickups of minerals that you get, freeing that first set of zerglings on the right, that'll give you enough minerals to throw down an extra hatchery immediately. To do that, get your zerglings up, or I should say get your drones maxed so you're getting a good income, and then just spam zerglings and don't stop the entire level. But I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward this video here in just a minute. We've gotten the beginning, we're in place, so mostly what's going to happen for the next several minutes is I'm just going to be building up zerglings. I guess one more thing, you'll notice here I'll take that queen, I'll park her right by my spine crawlers. The queens in the campaign auto cast a heal spell, and it's quite powerful. So if you can build a couple of queens and park them next to your spine crawlers. Put them on hold position so they don't run out and engage stuff. They're there just to heal your spine crawlers. Do that, and it'll keep your spine crawlers for a long time. Notice that I ran my army of Zerglings away from the incoming army. I don't want to lose any Zerglings. I want to get up to 100 as fast as I can, and Kerrigan and a couple of spine crawlers are more than capable of dealing with these small packs of units that they send in. Even if you have to micro your spine crawlers a little bit like I did there, because I didn't have quite enough. You could probably have pushed up a lot sooner than I did there, so that you could have 5 or 6 across the front line, so they could all attack at a time instead of stacking them too deep like I had to. Run Kerrigan up there all this time while you're building the Zerglings. Make sure you're using all our energy. Get shots off on the bunkers. That'll make it a lot faster when you go to push into their base. And you don't really have, when you do push into our base, you'll see, but we don't have time as far as cooldowns go on her abilities to spend using kinetic blast on bunkers, because we've got to spend them on the fire bats. The fire bats will, like I said, eat your Zerglings alive. So you've got to deal with the fire bats with Kerrigan's abilities. It's really nice to have the bunkers down beforehand. So this fast forwarding here will end in just a second, and we'll be ready to do our final push. And you'll notice here, while I'm building Zerglings and not much is happening on the right side, just push forward here with your spine crawlers. The couple of queens can lay down tumors, and notice that in the campaign, laying a creep tumor doesn't take any energy, it's just on a cooldown, so a couple of queens can put out a lot of tumors even if they're out of energy from healing the spine crawlers.
We require more minerals.
So it's getting close to 4 minutes left here, and we're going to push out. Like I said, remember the focus here is to deal with those fire bats. Watch, they'll hardly get a single shot off. I think they get maybe one shot, maybe not even one shot there, it looks like. So that's great. The bunker's dealt with, and I like doing this base first because there's one to the right of this and then this one, and I like doing this one first obviously because you get a Zergling pack, and that'll help. So run Kerrigan around to make sure her focus is just dealing with any fire bats, and you'll swallow this base pretty quickly. There's not much in there besides a couple of fire bats that'll do much damage. Even the Thor's not too bad, unless he gets on Kerrigan. So while they're cleaning up the structures after the army's mostly dealt with and they're cleaning up the structures, scroll over to there and over to the north column and start advancing your spine crawlers. You want to do that as soon as you can. They'll land a bunch of drop pods over there before the end here. You'll see that, and I could have had the base destroyed before then, but if you're really tight on spine crawlers, you feel like you might not have enough, those drop pods will do you in. So try to destroy the base before the drop pods drop, and I think that happens around 1 minute or so. So make sure you keep advancing those spine crawlers to deal with that base. And then it's just clean up. The base on the right's just about the same as the base in the middle. So I think we're gonna clean this up here with time to spare, probably 30 seconds or so. And they landed some drop pods in the middle. That's no good. If you're really close on time, remember you don't have to kill the units, only the structures. And if you've got spare energy and cooldowns on Kerrigan, you can use kinetic blast on the energy. That does quite a bit of damage, and it can save you some time. So you'll notice I'm getting down to the wire here. Not a whole lot of spare units left, but you don't need a lot. Spine crawlers are almost done, and there's the drop pods, about 130. So if you didn't have enough spine crawlers there because you'd lost too many, that could really mess you up because you wouldn't have time to run your Zerglings back there and finish off those structures. And now we just wait.
Our forces are under attack.
That base is down, time to spare, and GG. That's all she wrote, guys. Not too bad. Over 30 seconds to spare. So you got plenty of time to get this achievement taken care of. Just manage the fire bats. That's the trick.